In the same way that you can't generalize about police officers who do an extraordinarily tough job, overwhelmingly they do it professionally. You can't generalize about protesters who, it turns out, had some very legitimate grievances. The Justice Department report showed that they were being stopped, African Americans were being stopped disproportionately, mainly so the city could raise money, even though these were unjust.
All right. You know what? I'm so tired of this already, but joining us now is Harry Houck, retired NYPD detective, first grade, 25 years veteran of law enforcement. Hello, Harry.
Hey, Steve. How you doing, buddy? I'm getting tired of it
Good,
myself.
good. All right. You know what? First of all, just this notion that somehow if police stop one ethnic group out of whack with their representation in the population, even if it's a slight out of whackness, if you will, as it is in Ferguson, that somehow that's racism, proof of racism. I don't even see any sense in that kind of statement.
Well, it makes no sense at all. I don't know how they can come to conclusion with that, but it does fit their rhetoric of what they want to talk about here. I was saying earlier today that if you have let's say a neighborhood, 70% black, 30% white, where are you going to throw all the police cars first? All right, let's say you have 10 police cars. You're going to throw 3 in a white neighborhood if the crime rate's really low, and you're going to put 7 in the black neighborhood if the crime rate's really high. All right, so proportionally, more blacks are going to be getting stopped because there's more law enforcement in high crime areas. It's got nothing to do with racism, although we know from the report it's got a lot to do with money as far as the city is concerned, but officers are probably being compelled to do that.
Right, that has nothing to do with the police officers. They're being told what to do, which, by the way, this is neither here nor there, but on Staten Island, they were told to arrest. The mayor's office actually issued the directive, or the top man, it's number 2 in the police force in New York, who is black, said, that's it. Phony cigarettes, from now on, we bring them in. So that wasn't the cops harassing someone either. But that aside, again, it's unfortunate, but in most areas and nationwide as a whole, as a statistic, blacks, whatever they are, 13% of the population, 15%, they commit a whole lot higher percentage of the crime. So what would Mr. Obama and Mr. Holder say about that?
Right. Well, they're not very clean on the facts. They don't want to go to those facts. Remember, they always talk about certain things like the proportionately, statistically, this and that, but it's not the truth. I mean, when you look at this report, they should have went in and looked at all the confrontations with the police officers. They should have taken into account how many police officers are patrolling high crime areas, all right? And this big thing about officers issuing more summonses, all right? You got to look into those summonses and say, why were these people stopped? Simple as that.
Absolutely. I want to roll a video, Harry, which I'm sure you're familiar with. It's what happened to McDonald's in Brooklyn, of a bunch of girls, all black, beating up another black girl. Just horrific. Let's roll that tape for the folks so they could see it. All right, you could see them dragging the body when she's lifeless and unconscious. Harry, this goes on more than people know, from what I'm told. And by the way, if this girl had been beaten up like that by white girls, Al Sharpton would have been there. This is all you would have been talking about on CNN all day. But it's just another example for the world to see of black-on-black crime. Thank God this girl didn't get killed. She could have. And so, who cares, right?
Right. It's very horrible what happened to this young girl. What's going on with our society? That stuff like this. And then thank God people want to videotape it so we can get the perpetrators. And then they want to post it up on YouTube and all these other places like it's an accepted type of behavior. I mean, it's just totally insane to me.
You know what I'd like to hear? It shouldn't take this girl being killed for Barack Obama to come to the microphone and say That poor girl who was beaten to a pulp, beaten to near death, reminds me of my daughters. Instead of, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon, which is a bunch of crap. This is something he could relate to, and this is something he should speak out on. But nope, there's no racial conflict here. There's no divisiveness to have. So he'll be quiet, and we'll go on to the next one.
If Black Lives matter, Black lives have to matter in every instant, not just when a black person is confronted by a police officer, a white police officer at that.
You're absolutely right. Hey, Harry, have a great weekend, sir. And every time I say Harry now, for some reason, I got it in my head. I want to say Harry, keep the change, like I did last time. But I won't. Notice I won't say it. Take care. Harry Houck, ladies and gentlemen.
Take care, buddy.
Here on the Steve Malzberg Show. You too. Take care. It's just, it's tragic. It is just tragic. What we saw go on there. And folks, if you Google it, or if you want me to do a half hour on it, I'll show you video after video after video where this goes on, either black on black or black on white or whatever. And it's just outrageous that this doesn't get talked about more. All right, folks, the Malzberg panel is next. But first, are you a high earner? Well, stay tuned for a Max to Money moment on how to manage your Roth IRA.
You know that feeling that you get when you find out about that great party that everyone but you went to last weekend that hit you right in the gut? A lot of people are feeling that same hit in their gut and their wallets when it comes to opening and funding their own Roth IRA. If you make too much, $191,000 if you're married filing jointly, or $129,000 if you're filing single, you aren't invited to the Roth IRA party. But don't put away your party swag just yet, because you can still get in. The first step is to fund a traditional IRA. Now that usually gets you a tax deduction, but higher wage earners with access to a retirement plan like a 401k or 403b won't get that. Instead, you'll open what's called a non-deductible IRA. While this isn't as fun as the Roth IRA party, it's necessary to get your foot in the door. The next step is to convert that traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, and now you're in the party. Under new IRS rules, there aren't any income limits for Roth IRA conversions. So even if you make millions, you can still do the conversion, and that's the back door to the Roth IRA party. There is one big caveat though. If you have any existing traditional IRAs, you may have to pay a prorated share of tax when you do the Roth IRA conversion. If you have any worries about that, definitely meet with your tax professional before you make the switch. If you've been locked out of the Roth IRA party, it's time to get your fancy duds on and get in the back door. This is Jeff Rose for Max to Money on Newsmax TV.